Hey traders. Just doing a live trade review. Haven't done one in a while. And I want to draw your attention to something that I've noticed that is kind of different since the beginning of the year. And I am not a believer of patterns at all, but I am a very big believer in um, I guess patterns in a different way. I guess patterns of behavior, not like it looks like, a head and shoulders or a flag or any of that stuff. All of that stuff has been proven over and over and over again to have zero credibility as far as being able to exploit that information. But I do believe there are um, patterns, like I said, patterns of behavior where, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, you see how the market opened here, flushes lower, bottoms out, hits liquidity, flushes higher to higher liquidity, comes back down, buy value, higher liquidity, buy value, higher liquidity, buy value, limits keep pressing, and then all of a sudden, boom, another big flush down. So this to me is what I like to pay attention to. So more or less how a market is moving is more important than any pattern per se. And what we see here is they're pressing limits, pressing limits, pressing limits, pressing limits. But the other thing that you can see here is that there's also sellers. Sellers are hitting these highs. These highs are not blowing through, and the sellers hit the highs. So that's why I just took a short trade up here at these highs. Shouted it out on stocktwits just a few minutes ago. And it's because of the behavior of the market. So back in the floor trading days, this is what we would look for. We wouldn't look for patterns. We would look for how is the market behaving. When it gets to highs, is it busting out? And is it continuing higher? Is it rejecting highs? What's the behavior of the market, not the pattern of the market? And this is kind of what I teach in my course, is I teach people how to quantify these things and have a way of analyzing them to basically find a way to exploit them. So this trade, very simple. I'm explaining the trade. Why am I taking this short trade here? Well, I'm taking it because the behavior of the market at these levels is giving me the opportunity to know I can probably get to break even pretty quickly on this trade. And if I do get a deep retracement, then I'd be looking to potentially flip and buy value again, probably somewhere around this level right here looks like where they might be pressing these limits here. So just thought I'd give you guys an example of a live trade right when I'm taking it, and what I look at, how I view the markets as through floor trading eyes. What kind of day is it? Is it a day that is a breakout trend day? Is it a day that is back and forth and rotational? That's the patterns that we would look for on the floor. What kind of day is it? And that's how you exploit chaos. There's a lot of people out there that say that you're supposed to look for flags, supposed to look for head and shoulders. That stuff is complete crap, guys. Because remember, you're operating in a chaotic environment. And whenever chaos is in control, then you have to adapt to the chaos. And the way you adapt to the chaos is by objectively viewing what is happening through the eyes of clearness. And that's what I see. I see that for the last 2 days, this market has been rejecting highs, then press limits, rejecting highs, 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 press limits. It's really that simple, guys. Okay, but I do have a very organized and systematic way of structuring it so that you can exploit it and classify each and every day as to your behavior. And that's what I teach. I teach people how to look at chaos, how to exploit the obvious by having a way to quantify the obvious. And that's what separates me from pretty much everybody else. I'm teaching you how to accept reality and then exploit the reality of what's happening. Okay? So that's a little description here. I don't know what's going to happen. I have a 10-cent stop. I got in this trade at 252, shouted it out on stocktwits at just a few minutes ago. 275.22 with a 10-cent stop. Right here, and I got my stop is at 32. I'm already up 10 cents on it. I almost got 1 to 1 on my money, but I think this trade is going to be a much bigger trade, hopefully. If not, we'll get stopped out. But if I get it, my target's going to be around 240, 274.70. So I'm going to get 5 to 1 on my money. Pretty cool, huh? No patterns, no nothing, just accepting reality. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. If I don't, I get 5 to 1. Gotta love that. Okay, guys, live trade as I'm taking it, why I'm taking it, giving you guys a little taste of what you can expect to learn. Now, like I said, I have a much more organized way of doing this. I'm just giving you guys a overview of genius. I've decided that since Trump is calling himself a genius, I'm going to call myself a genius. All right. Little laugh. Bye for now.